Hello, my friends. Oh, I wish we can see each other face to face. But this time, we cannot do it. So in the meantime, join me in this marketing and social media presentation for your private practice. I will start talking a little bit about myself. Don't worry, just gonna be a little bit. My name is Fernando Bolio. I work for Paragon, Cooper Vision Specialty Eye Care Division in the marketing and social media department. My current position is work for Latin American markets, supporting them in all the social media platforms and also support some practitioners during their certification. But for all of you that are from the rest of the world, feel free to reach to me, and if I can be able to help, I will do it. My presentation today will include how to make social media to reconnect with your patients when they return to work. That is translated to be more in-visit office, and that will be translated to more money. Also, we will be covering how to implement a successful marketing campaign, how to avoid one of the most common mistakes ever made in the industry, and also we will talk a little bit in how are the tools to increase your business and maybe some ways you have never thought of or you don't know how to start. Also, I have the great opportunity to work with one of my ex-coworkers in a social media guide that we will provide for you for free. You only need to reach me after this webinar, send me an email, and I will be happy to send it for you all, and that guide will help you to get along the way. Before we take the big jump into social media, I want to start a story talking about the 3 elements of communication. When I was very little, I learned that the 3 components of communications are the basics for a clear message to be received. Okay, I will give you all a break so you can think which could be these 3 components of communications for a message to be successfully delivered. Sender, message, receiver. 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it. And then I was like, I know everything I need to know to become a successful marketer, because marketing and communication at the end of the day are basically the same thing. I decided to join college and specialize in digital marketing. Why not, right? I already knew everything that I need to know to crush life. So I decided to join college, and I went straight there. And you know how college works. And once I became a marketer and I started actually working in the industry, I realized that things are not pretty much what I thought. This is what my life turned out to be. It's slightly more complicated, right? I know. Because when we have a true communication, we have place for a lot of different things. Misunderstandings, ideologies, more misunderstandings, noise, maybe misbelief, and that makes communication so complicated. So for us to achieve a message, either way, face to face or through a platform like social media are, we need to understand which one is the true key to have a successful communication. In this case, for a lot of us, we think that we need to have a clear message, or we only need to have a receiver and a message to be communicated. Okay, for those who are good at math, or you already see the background, well, the truth is that I've been failing a lot in marketing. And that could either go all the way to I am a total failure in marketing, or the other way, that I needed to review how to become a better professional. So I started to think, what am I doing wrong? And then I realized that my marketing campaigns were great. First 2 marketing campaigns didn't sell anything. And the third one, well, I didn't get sued, so all goes well and ends well. But the truth is that I wasn't being clear, and people didn't understand what I was saying. And no, it wasn't because of my Mexican accent. It was because in my mind, I thought that to deliver a clear message was enough. But what is clear for me is not necessarily clear for others. For the people who is married, they will know what I'm talking about. So I gathered all the information that I had, and I realized that I was using all this information that I learned when I was very little, and I need to relearn the process for communication so I can implement it in social media and actually engage with my patients or the people that is connected with me there. And in that process, I learned some things. Clear is not enough. Sender, message, receiver, 1, 2, 3 is not enough neither. Because the key for a successful communication is to be specific. Once we start to become specific, all my successes were great, even the failures. That was also great. Okay, now that we know that being specific is the key for a good communication, let's move forward a little bit. A lot of doctors came to me and say, "Hey Fernando, how are you? Why are you always drinking coffee?" And then after that question, they came to me and say, "In social media, what I'm supposed to communicate? How do I do that? Where I do that? Which platform?" And I am always like, first, let's take this example that nobody like it, but they always stick that on their mind. Have you ever tried this? A bed of nails? Interesting choice. I have never tried it, and probably I would never do it. They say nothing happened, but what about this? Would you do it? That is because one point gets crossed in communication, so one nail does to a feet. Now we know, if we keep it short, we keep it specific, it gets effective. Our ideas get crossed in the room or in the platforms, and that is specifically what we want.
Whether you're helping your patients with the daily irritation of dry eyes or combating other ocular surface diseases, Boston Sight Sclero has the data-backed science and experience to help them see the world through a whole new lens.
Now that we know that being specific is good and we can keep it short, let's move forward a little bit more. I know these are very difficult and challenging times for all of us due to the pandemic and all the measures and everything that's going on in the world. But I remember one time I was very sick. I have 1 million degrees fever, and then I decided to go to see a doctor. And then once I showed up in the doctor practice, I was so mad because he didn't even listen to my symptoms. He was more like, "Hi, how are you? That's it. Take this pill. $20,000. Go next." And I was like, okay, if you're not going to listen to me, how am I supposed to feel better? The medicine is one thing, but as a customer, we like to be listened, right? If any kind of artificial intelligence is nicer than we are with the people that we expect to give us their money, we have a problem. So just like Siri asks all the time, "How can I help you with?" You can do that to your patients. Now is the time to start listening more than ever. It's a very challenging time. People need to be listening, and that could be a key and a differentiation for you, even when you are in social media. Let's keep something in mind. Social media is a platform where it's real people interacting with each other. Interaction is the key. Be open to suggestions. Be open to have conversations. Don't rush things, okay? People love to have a bond with their providers, with their contact lens providers, with their doctors. People create this bond by communicating with each other. Now, some of us cannot even have a long conversation. With the face mask and everything, that just becomes impossible. But texting is not that bad all the time. In order for us to understand a little bit more the conversations, now that we know we're gonna listen, not like the grumpy doctor, we can understand a little bit the buying process in a regular mind. Different kind of learners, buying process, learn and gather the information in very different ways. There is visual, there is hearing, and there is kinesthetic kind of buyers. Visuals, they usually love great quality pictures. Colors grab their attention. They are very passionate, emotional about their decisions. That could be one kind of buyer. Second one is hearing. They usually will ask you questions and they want answers that make sense to their questions. Listen carefully. Kinesthetic, they are normally more loyal to your customers, emboldened in the process. Oh, great. Now, I know it's been difficult to travel right now, but let's take a second and go to Tokyo all together. If we all go together to the same place, the same destination, and then after a couple of days we return home, I know even if we did the same things, we all going to talk about very different stories from the same travel. Why? Because the way we gather information in the world is very competitive, but also it depends on the way our brain works. For a lot of people, they will talk about how they enjoy a sushi cooking class, or how beautiful was fashion colors in Japan, or also they will talk about the buildings. Other people will talk about the music, and then in that kind of stories, you can identify what kind of learner or what kind of buyer you have in front or in social media with you. So listen and pay attention to the interactions you have, and you will succeed in your near marketing strategy implementation. Great. Also, now, Fernando, okay, that's great information. What do I do with all this information? First of all, now that we are listening to the conversations and the interactions that we have, we can understand what we can do better so we can engage with the patients. If we are face to face with a visual kind of person, make sure you grab their attention with colors, with a clean space. But how do you do that in social media? Well, use great quality pictures, videos, things that they enjoy when they watch an ad, also some animations, and that will be just helpful and that will be great for them. If we are in front of hearing kind of people, make sure you have good conversation with them in social media, allow them to make questions, and also reply to the questions carefully. And if we're working with the dear kind of buyers and learners that is kinesthetic and they want to be part of the process, then you usually ask them for some feedback. Some surveys or some games in social media could help to get a bond and some rapport with this kind of customers and buyers. And that's just a great idea that usually works great. It doesn't matter how big or small your practice is. Once you learn how the different kind of buyers works, it's always the same rule. Okay, now we are just certified in neurolinguistics. No, I'm kidding. But now that we know a lot about these things, now let's move forward to the next important step. How to implement this information into a social media campaign. But before that, why do you even need to be in social media? Well, digital marketing exists traditional marketing for first time in 2019. Can you believe that? That was before the pandemic. Now, do you even imagine how many people is in their phone right now? I know. And that also patience. Because if we cannot go out and if we cannot do a lot of activities, people will look for some entertainment. And if in our phone we can find that may not be the best option, but they will do that. And that's what we want to get them and target to them, okay? It is 3.48 billion people are using social media. That's 45% of the population in the world. So now you have a good reason, a numerical reason to get into social media. 69% of the adults use at least one social media, could be Facebook, Instagram, etc. Your competitors are also using social media, so if you're not there, they are ready already. May the internet work for an eye doctor. Online sales for regular contact lenses are a threat for traditional eye care providers. So let's take advantage of the internet and use it in our side. If you create your social media website, if you work there, then you are not threatened anymore by them. You are in the same space and you can gather and have a bond with your patients and customers, and that will be an advantage for you. A specialty eye care division have specialty eye care products, lenses that have and require a certain level of expertise. Start today And if you become a specialist, you can target and promote your practice in social media as a specialty eye care provider. Also, I know marketers love to market, that is my jam. And also, practitioners love to practice. And some of them, they really not enjoy to use social media and technology, and that's okay. You can assign one person. Many practitioners assign a person who already customer lead. Maybe the customer service representative, your secretary, a good friend, maybe a niece. That happens a lot. But that person has to have time, has to be consistent, and also have to be patient, because social media strategies are a learning process. Social media is the perfect place to connect with your patients now that they return to work. Also, social media is just perfect because nowadays everybody's afraid to talk to each other, but nobody have ever told me that is afraid to get COVID by using their phone. So that would be a good reason right now to be there. Make sure you announce your practice is open again, in case it is. And also, a good opportunity for you is to share how you're taking care of the COVID pandemic into your practice. How are the health measures? How are you taking care of the patients? How they can feel comfortable even before they arrive to your practice. If you don't have the time or you don't want to create new content, you can support and get help by the industry. A lot of companies create a lot of content for you with experts in social media marketing and different topics, so you get the best, highest quality content available, and that's for free and so easy to do. For example, this is a blog article about how to take care of your CRT lenses. This is available just like a lot of resources available in our website for free. How you can share specialty eye care content. In the case of Paragon, send me an email to fbolio@paragonvision.com, and I will be happy to give you direction and instructions in where you can get some different kind of content, either English or Spanish. You may share our Facebook post. Also, sharing content is an easy, a practical way to keep your social media alive and also some engaging. 3 easy steps to share Paragon Vision Sciences content. Head to facebook.com/Paragon Vision Sciences. Click in the bottom of the button in this post, for example, and you will see a place that it says share. Or well, in Spanish we'll say compartir. And then choose compartir or share for a page. And make sure you select your practice page. Now you can either type and click, and that will be a wrap, and now you have shared a post that you didn't invest much time, and it could be a high quality content that engages with your patients. Social media insider tips. Authenticity and also relevancy is very important, not just as professionals, but also in the social media. We don't want to be our competitors. We want to be better than them and create content that is important and relevant to our patients. Okay? Use emojis. They have proof that using emojis can increase 57% of the engagement with your social media accounts. Just remind to keep a professional voice in every post. Video content and stories are becoming the fastest way to consume content in the internet, but keep it in 1 minute. Nobody wants to see a whole movie of something that they don't even know about, okay? Facebook and Instagram stories are a very fast way to consume content. This is becoming very popular right now, and it's very easy to share. If you have your Facebook page, you just kind of have to go to the top bar of this section, and then you will see one thing like this, and then click in the blue button, and it will give you the opportunity to upload either a video or a picture, and then you can decide what to share. You don't have to share all the time. That is a question that I receive all the time, that Fernando, I know it's just gonna take me forever, like young people want content and more content and more content. Yeah and no, because that's not always the best scenario. Share some content that is relevant, just like in this example. This guy is a good Mr. Charles Morris, head of marketing in Paragon Visions. He's an incredible, talented professional, and also we share that kind of content. For example, marketing resources to grow your practice. It's a high quality picture, a nice smile, and a nice content that patients, or in this case, practitioners could be interested and they will like that kind of information and they will engage with you. That's what you want to get. Content that is important and is resourceful for your patients. This is another example of how stories will look in a Facebook common feed. We are competing to everything all the time in social media. So that's why we have to create great content with great colors, with great lyrics that you can read from far away. Because if we're competing with everyone, we have to be the best to grab 5 seconds attention. And I know that sounds very difficult, and that's why I'm here, to keep helping you along the way. Also, Instagram stories are the same than Facebook stories, and it's very easy. This is an example of an Instagram common feed. Same way, you go all the way to the top and you click in the blue button, and they're gonna give you the option to upload a video or a picture, and then you can decide from the content that you already have what you want to upload and in what moment. Perfect. In that position, now that we have a little bit of more understanding in social media, let's talk a little bit the common mistakes ever made in social media. Do not limit the ability to communicate, engage, message, and comment in your social media platform, because people is looking for interaction, and if you limit that, then we are doing nothing with our time there. Be cautious about ignoring or deleting negative feedback. Nobody that is angry likes to be ignored. And let's return to the wife and the marriage theory. Be assertive and respond to negative feedback professionally. This is very important. Just like humans as professionals, doctors, eye care providers, we constantly exposure to judgment. Subject to judgment, maybe. Social media is not any different. If you get some negative feedback you think is unfair, you have the option to either delete it or hide the comment. If you delete the comment, the person who wrote the comment will be able to see and realize that you are deleting the comment, and that will make the person even angrier. And I have seen this a lot. That's why it took a minute to explain this. Then hide the comment, because the person who wrote the comment won't be able to realize that, and nobody else that follows you will be able to read that kind of negative feedback. So that's the best option to deal with that kind of situation. That happens a lot, it's very consistent, and we can avoid some bullying, just like in high school. After that, once we hide a comment, then Facebook gonna give you the option to ban the person. If it's a person that constantly keeps writing negative feedback about your practice, and maybe you don't even know that person because that happened, well, you have the option to ban it, and then that person is gone forever. I took the time to explain this because a lot of companies get very threatened when they receive the first negative feedback. And that's something that of course will happen, just like it happens in our personal life. So now we know how to deal with that. Facebook insider tips. Post 3 to 4 times a week. Know when to stay brief and when to add information. Just like in this example, this is an example of 90 characters versus 283 characters. People get tired after the long day we work. The life nowadays is very demanding, and the last thing we want to see when we open our phone is like an encyclopedia of something we don't know anything about. So keep it short, just like in the example of the key, being specific. 1 point, get close, remember that. Facebook Insider Tips Part 2. Do not forget the visuals and be authentic. Use your own event pictures, your doctors, your key opinion friends, your key opinion professionals, your best patients if they like to be there. You have to ask them for their permission first. How do I define what strategy to implement? Most of the common questions. Which social media platform should I use? That is like the question I receive every day. And I always give that answer. It depends on your audience. In your practice, you have a lot of teenagers, then maybe TikTok will be a one option that is growing every time. But if that is not the case, and adults usually take the decisions in the practice, parents, then you either want to use Facebook or Instagram that remain the biggest and the most popular social media platforms. How do I build a fan base and increase my followers on Facebook? Be consistent, share high quality content, be original, authentic. Also, organic or free advertising in Facebook, well, it's not working anymore, to be honest. So you need to allocate some of your budget for social media, and maybe after 2 to 3 months, you can measure the return of investment in how the social media has worked for you, and if have drive visits in your office, and that is translated into more success. How often should I post about my office? Be careful of not posting too much. It's better to post consistently once a week, maybe even once every 2 weeks, but that the quality engage with the people, that they enjoy it. So that is more important, right? It's just like in real life. Sometimes we see a person that we like very much, and we see it every 3, 5, even 6 years, and we just get excited. And some people we don't enjoy too much, we see it every day. That's not nice. It's the same with the content. There is not a reason why you have to be different. Now that we know a little bit about this, let's move into the next step that is very important. Social media ideas. Okay, post about your staff, who is working with you. We are persons, we want to know this story. Who is your secretary? Where did she went to college? What did she do? What's her name? Post also about your events. People like to see if you have a birthday, why not? Your patients know you already, or most of them, and they want to know a little bit more about you. Share patient testimonials. You have to ask them, but that will work just well for you. Now, the social media guide, second edition. I want to recognize Natasha Giraldi for that great job that she did with that. And I just made some adjustment and I helped with that, and I'm excited to share with you all for free. That is the best and most exciting part. This social media guide is gonna help you get along the way to start your social media marketing strategy. You just have to send me an email to fbolio@paragonvision.com, and that's going to be fine, and I will be happy to help support. Also, if you have any questions from this presentation and other things in social media, because it's an extended and complicated topic, feel free to contact me, and if I can help, I will be happy to do it. That's all. Thank you for this class invitation. Hope to see you very soon. Bye.